live with another episode of I Build at 4 a.m. As always, I'm your host, Joao from Cartesi. And here with me, I have an amazing guest, a crazy good guy, the best person I know in Web3. One of them for sure is Zach Prater. So Zach, my first question for you is, how are you? And my second question is, who's Zach?
Howdy, guys. Thank you for having me on this amazing podcast. So, quick background on myself. My name is Zach Prater. You'll find me all over Twitter at Zach Pratt, or Telegram, or Discord, everything. I'm a kind of cool guy that enjoys hackathons and enjoys building crazy things. If there's anything that you want to build using any application, you'll find me in the Cartesi Discord, brainstorming ideas and usually bugging people like Joao or Carlo on any of my stupid ideas.
I mean, most of those ideas are a gem and they're precious. So if you guys are builders and need ideas, I highly recommend you to talk to Zach.
I mean, we'll see. You pitched Roller Coaster Tycoon a while back, and I think that would be really fun to build.
Yeah, I want to merge it with World Tycoon somehow. I think that would be cool. That would be really, really cool. And talking about World Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoons and Tycoons, what is World Tycoon? Like, I know it's often described as SimCity, but I don't know exactly what is the best way to describe it for everyone. I know how I do in my Cartesi pitches, my elevator pitch, but I think your structure of presentation would be much more valuable than mine here.
I think the best way to describe it is as SimCity itself. And the reason why I say that is just because how World Tycoon came to be is we had our Cartesi's head of engineering, Danilo, actually took the 1989 SimCity game engine, the original one, and he compiled that into our virtual machine so it was verifiable on Ethereum. So the best way to describe it, in my opinion, is the original SimCity, the true SimCity, and the best SimCity.
The original one is always the best, right? There's that saying. Nothing beats the original, I guess. That's it. But what is the differential from this SimCity to any other SimCity there is out there? Like,
you can actually make money. You can make money with World Tycoon. With original SimCity, whenever you play, you build this massive city, and you could spend anywhere between a week to a month to a year building your city, building your economy, building everything, and then you can't do anything with it after. It's just done. So with World Tycoon, not only can you profit from your city through enabling our Sim token, but you can actually use any of the open source technology that SimCity comes with. And just think, this is the first SimCity. There's other applications like Roller Coaster Tycoon that Joao brought up. There's going to be a lot of innovations and cool things happening. So whenever you play, just know this is the first of many.
I have a soft spot for both Roller Coaster Tycoon from when I was a kid. I remember my cousin bringing it from the US to Brazil and playing it like crazy. And I was just amazed that such a game existed. And then Lemonade Tycoon when it launched. Yep. So I really want that one as well.
I love that one. And it's kind of what made me love business, like actually building my own little itty bitty little economy.
Yeah. Did you ever sell lemonade in the street or something?
Believe it or not, I was one of the weird kids that actually owned my own soda thing at my school in elementary. Or I would sell gum, or I'd sell bags of chips. My mom would buy a 12-pack of chips for right around $5, and I would sell each bag of chips for $1. So 5 into 12. I was that weird kid.
Profit, baby.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but regarding the original project in here, what is the relationship between Cartesi and World Tycoon? What makes it a good pair, and what's the history behind it? You mentioned the name, right?
I think it's not the thought of what makes it a good pair. It's the thought of what makes it possible. Because you can't do things like World Tycoon on any other ecosystem regardless. So think about it this way. World Tycoon was based on the 1989 SimCity game. 1989. 89. I wasn't even an idea in 1989. Ethereum was an idea. Bitcoin wasn't an idea. None of these were ideas whatsoever. And so Cartesi actually allows you to port any open source tech through the Linux operating system and then bring that to Ethereum. So we kept the same game engine, C++, and we were able to deploy that using Cartesi's virtual machine to Ethereum itself. So it's not necessarily how are they a good pair, it's the fact that it's impossible anywhere else. Mm-hmm. It's not that we could just take open source technology from, 34 years ago? I'm bad at math, so 34 years ago, maybe more. You can't just bring that into Ethereum. you just can't do it. And even if you were to bring that into Ethereum, the latency would be horrible. Cartesi itself is its own app chain for every application that comes, and it's not something that, is like, how do we pair it? It's just impossible anywhere else. There's no debate.
I think it's something relating to what I always see Felipe and Eric mention about not only having having full compatibility. It's not only having backward compatibility with things that were built 30 years ago, but also having compatibility with things that will be built, that are still to come. So backward and forward compatibility, I think those concepts are really awesome.
I mean, Ethereum did an upgrade, last week or 2 weeks ago? I think that Ethereum pushed a new upgrade, and it's the thought of, we didn't have to upgrade our tech at all. Yeah, Cartesi upgraded, but we didn't have to. All builders don't have to. Cartesi keeps up to date with everything.
Yeah, this is actually amazing. If you start to think about it, every update is an actual improvement, is an actual new features. It's redoing something for the better. It's not a need or a must for the sake of compatibility of applications or any kind of thing like that. One thing that you mentioned is that SimCity, on SimCity, you play and you build your city for days, for weeks, for years, right? How do you see the gameplay time on World Tycoon? Is it the same? Is the same experience right there?
Right now, I think that there's going to be two different ways that people are going to play. There's going to be the people that want to earn money and want to build profits. And then there's going to be the type of players that actually want to build a cool city itself. And you're going to see those with two different verticals. The people that want to build profits are going to be focused on tax optimization, making sure that their city is actually generating revenue. The ones that want to build a beautiful city itself, I think, are going to be the ones that are more focused on cosmetics, such as making sure that their city looks like a snowflake or a flower.
Sure, I see. And there is this whole concept of making the city your own NFT at the end of the day, right? So that's where you want to get. You want to get to a functional city that does not drain you out of your money, and still you want to build something that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, the name of the podcast, at least the series, is Brain to Board, but we're not gonna have a board session. We're gonna have like a living board session in some way, right? So I think it would be really awesome for us to show a small demo of what is World Tycoon and how it actually works. So I'm gonna play it right here.
Yeah. So in this demo, you're going to see how to actually log into the application. And you're not going to see much gameplay just because we've all played SimCity. We all know how it works. So you're connecting with MetaMask or your chosen wallet provider. We have Rainbow, Coinbase Wallet, Wallet Connect. We're going to be focusing more on Coinbase Wallet in the future. You bridge in your SIM tokens. In order to play the game, you need 20,000 SIM tokens. And that's because in every SimCity game, you start with $20,000 or simoleons that they call. And for all the Cartesians watching this, hint sim token. So hopefully that tells you why to play the game. You're going to play the game. You're going to create a city by paying the application or bridging in 20,000 sim tokens. You can build residential, commercial, industrial, everything like that to build your own city. And after a series of game ticks, you actually start collecting taxes from your city itself. You'll see in the top corner, you start with 20,000. That's because that's the total amount you bridge. And then you just play the game.
Oops, sorry, my bad. Music started right here.
But yeah, that's how to play SimCity. And for anyone that remembers the 1989 version, it's the same thing. The only difference is that you can actually profit using cryptocurrency.
And now it's easy to play. It's just embedded in your browser. You just log in with your wallet and you're there. Do you have any idea of what are the next steps for? Well, what is the roadmap? Where do you want to get with the whole game? How do you want to make it take it forward?
Yeah, so right now, the biggest thing that we need to do is the smart wallets or account abstraction. We need people to be able to approve every single building without having to manually approve everything with MetaMask. To kind of give you how that looks, let's say that you want to build 10 residential properties. Right now, you would have to approve it 10 times on MetaMask. We need to abstract that to where it's actually the user experience is a lot better. After the account abstraction, the next focus is going to be kind of optimizing the gameplay, writing Git books for people to understand, and then eventually launching not only the application, but the SIM token itself on mainnet, specifically base mainnet. After the SIM token is launched on base mainnet, that's whenever things get complicated. Everything gets complicated whenever you throw a token in the mix. But we need to make sure that the bridge is secure, the application is secure. After all of that amazing hell is done, we're going to be focusing on tokenizing the metadata of the game itself so that you can mint it as an NFT. The process of doing this is a little bit complicated. Whenever people think of NFTs, they typically think of JPEGs. They don't think that there's much data that can be stored within that NFT itself. Something amazing that Cartesi kind of allows you to do, and you can see this through applications like Rives. You actually, whenever you mint a tape on Rives, you're actually tokenizing all of that data that's attached to that gameplay itself. It's going to be the same process with World Tycoon. If you want, we could make it a way to where you could just watch the people play it live. But I think it would be better to tokenize the map so that anyone that wants to play your existing map would have to buy it from you, and you generate more income just from playing the game itself. And that's where, the users will change from the people that are just playing to earn money versus the people that are now playing to build beautiful maps. The beautiful maps, I think, will be generating a lot more income because let's say I build a snowflake map. Actually, no, specifically, let's say I build a map that looks exactly like Joao. I got glasses, I got facial hair, I got everything. I even have like those beautiful cheekbones that he has, or, handsome. Not beautiful, handsome, sorry. But like, let's say that I tokenized it. And there's 100 different NFTs within that one collection that all has that same metadata. That means that 100 different people could play that same map, and they would be paying me in order to play it. And then there could be 100 different versions of Joao. One to where the residential areas are his hair, and you can see them move around like lice. Or one to where you have fire coming out of his facial hair. It could be anything. And I really think that kind of shows the utility for making beautiful maps compared to making economically viable maps, because everyone wants to earn money. But the best way to earn money, in my opinion, is to make something that's long lasting and long standing. You see people do this with Minecraft all the time. They build Hogwarts or they build Star Wars, and then they start making money from people buying those maps from them. It can be the same process.
So first comment here is, please do not set my beer on fire. it will probably hurt. And a world with 100 drones is a world that it would be nice, but it would be scary to live in.
SimCity. SimCity, yeah.
In these NFTs, aren't you afraid that everyone will be making profit at some point because they will figure out some kind of, not cheat code, but a standard optimized way to play where they will always be able to cash out?
It's extremely easy to increase the difficulty of this game. Okay. And I say that just because it's been around since 1989. They've had millions and millions of people that have played it. And the difficulty for SimCity has actually improved with the new games itself. Let's say SimCity 6 has implemented new difficulties for their economy itself. We can implement those same difficulties. Or if we want to be really, really, really mean, we can implement disasters. And for anyone that's played SimCity, you know, we've seen the meteor disaster, we've seen fire disasters, we've seen floods. We can implement those randomized if people are earning too much money. And, you know, like I encourage people to get really good at it. I encourage people to try to break the bank because that means that they're actually playing the application itself. But just know that as you get better at the application, things are going to get a lot more difficult. So start playing now, start playing early, because the earlier you play, the easier it will be.
So there's a logic for you to not be able to profit infinitely. That's very nice to know. That's very interesting.
We can ruin some people's day if we want to.
What about gameplay so far?
We've shared it in the Cartesi community. We've shared it on Twitter. We've had about 17 people that have actually played the game itself. So far, no one has profited, you know, so challenge accepted there. Right now, we're in a testing period because we really want to get as much feedback as possible. So if you're in the Cartesi community, I know that Toby just shared the Discord link. Make sure that you join the World Tycoon Discord. Give us feedback. I'm going to be sending you the Sim token. Maybe you might get part of an airdrop. I can't hint at anything, but there is a token for a reason. And yeah.
Yeah. Also, one other thing that I'm curious about is you mentioned, I think it was...
Also, Joao, real quick, Danilo, the one that ported the game engine itself, still has not profited from World Tycoon. The only person that's profited was Logan, the main developer, and so far that's it.
This is so awesome. But there is this one other thing that you mentioned is you're focusing on account abstraction, and that has a lot to do with user experience, right? And I tend to find out that user experience in Web3 as a whole is a little broken, like just the mechanism of using wallets. Is there any thoughts on, besides regular standard account abstraction 4337, to improve that somehow? Do you have any sorts of plans for that?
We've looked into certain applications such as Privy, to where people can log in with their email address or phone number. Currently, as we're focused more on a Coinbase wallet, Coinbase Wallet is implementing smart wallets. Smart wallets allow you to log in using your email address, your phone number, kind of any data itself. And if you log in with your email address, it actually backs it up to your email's cloud, so you don't have to store your own keys. So with the user experience, we're going to be improving as Coinbase improves, or as Privy improves. We're kind of not focused on making our own in-house wallet.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense, and that's a very smart tactic.
Yeah.
And then you just get the best of whatever is currently out there.
That's true. And as Coinbase improves their block time, and their block space itself will improve as well. I know that Mega ETH came out with a video of them playing a game. I don't know if you saw it, Joao, but it was consistent transaction improvements, and they highlighted that this is a fully on-chain game, and it took someone 2 hours to do the same thing on Base, and it was 10 times faster. Wow. So we're leaning a lot into the Base ecosystem right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. Such a difference. It's huge. I ask this because I see a huge difference in, I guess, users that are used to Web3 applications and those that are not, right? And I think it's kind of hard to develop your own user base, your own clientele, when you have such a small spectrum of people that you can take. What are strategies that you can find in like dealing with people who are not crypto native to bring them to crypto world?
An ecosystem that I've built games on in the past is Immutable, or IMX. If you're not familiar with the IMX passport, in my opinion, it's the best passport for gaming. It allows you to log in with your Apple ID, your Android ID, your Steam account, your Discord account, your EA Sports account, your Xbox username, anything like that. So whenever it comes to focusing on the Web 2 side, sadly, in my opinion, it really comes from the ecosystem itself. We can both look into IMX. They have over 30 million daily active users that play their games. They have over 9,000 games on their platform. The reason why we're leaning more into Base is I feel Coinbase as a whole will be able to scale a lot faster than most other ecosystems will, as they generate fees not from their token, but from their exchange as a whole. So the Web2 experience, I really think, kind of depends on the total user base of that ecosystem. You have Coinbase that services over 200,000 or 200 million daily active users just through their exchange. They have less on their wallet, but that's why they're improving their wallet. That's why we're trying to go there. You have Immutable that has a beautiful way to onboard Web 2, but 30 million claimed daily active users. If we wanted to go crazy, we really could look into the BNB ecosystem or be cross-chain, as BNB is the biggest ecosystem with 300 million active users using Binance. But I still have the belief that Coinbase will be aggressively scaling. So that's why we're leaning into the Base ecosystem.
Yeah, not just a lot of people, but with good experience as well.
Yeah, because for Web 2, it has to be ecosystem specific. It's not like they're bridging from ecosystem to ecosystem. Like they're just on one ecosystem and then they stay there.
Fair. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Zach, it comes that part in our podcast where I throw a bunch of questions at you.
Go for it.
And you reply them real quick. It's called quick fire chat. And you barely think to answer them or to reply them, and give me very short answers in like one word or one sentence max, right?
I like it. I'm a tall man and I like being short.
All right. you are a tall man. So let's start. What's the first game you ever got obsessed with?
Minecraft.
If you could simulate any real world system on chain, what would it be?
Minecraft.
Smart contracts or smart cities?
I'm probably going to go smart contracts because they empower smart cities.
All right. Biggest Web3 buzzword you wish would disappear?
AI.
Most underrated Web3 project or dev tool right now?
Cartesi.
Who's someone in the Web3 world you would love to have a lunch with, besides me?
I would love to have a lunch. Can I name two?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, without a doubt, Eric Demora. Second, probably Satoshi Nakamoto. And he's second to Eric Demora. Just remember that.
And the thing about Satoshi is, by having a lunch with him, you guarantee that you will find out who he is after all, right?
I think the big question is, who would pay the bill? Would it be me or this behemoth?
Now, last but not least, one word to describe the future of on-chain games.
Exciting.
Nice. Man, you were quick to the point. You were very precise with your answers. I really like that. I really enjoyed it. And it was really quick fire. Man.
You got me all excited about the lunch with Satoshi Nakamoto now. I'm like, I wonder if he would pay 10,000 BTC for a pizza at today's age.
I mean, he could. He has plenty, right?
He really could. He really could.
What would happen to the market afterward? I don't know. So I'm gonna try to pick your brain a little bit here regarding your background in business development, right? And try to understand a little bit about the ecosystem as a whole. What's your take on how business development on Web3 differs from traditional business development? And I would love to know if you find that there are any unique challenges or advantages that you see in Web3 that you do not see in the regular Web2 world, and vice versa.
I feel that Web3's business development is usually B2B or business to business compared to BTC, business to consumer or Bitcoin. And the reason why I say that is just because most businesses in Web2, they know that they have 7 to 8 billion of a user base they can onboard. They can onboard the entire world. I think that what Web3 is focused on is more collaboration and cumulative growth, such as the growth of Ethereum impacts the growth of Cartesi. As Ethereum grows, there's more of a development user base for people to utilize Cartesi as a whole, just because we're one of the best execution environments in the development environments. And I think that that's probably a big area. The reason why I think that's a big area is whenever I worked at a real world asset platform in 2018 through half of 2019, no banks would touch us, but Web3 applications would touch us. Aave would give liquidity. We'd have a series of VCs that would be liquidity providers. And so Web3 knows that as Web3 grows, that their user base grows and everything grows with it. Compared to Web2, they're all trying to steal users from other people, such as Facebook buying Instagram because Instagram stole their user base. Like I don't see anyone in Web3 trying to acquire each other compared to just work with each other.
Do you think this reflects a little bit in what we have seen recently in events? I think I talked about it with you when we were in Denver in the beginning of the year. Like, I feel like events are now more leaned towards protocols talking to each other and people finding good synergies and partnerships more than finding developers. Like the search for developers has kind of like stagnated a little bit. And yeah.
I fully agree. And I think it's weird just because being in this industry for so long, in 2015, whenever I joined, there were like no developers, they were all founders. In 2017, whenever the ecosystem started picking up, everyone was a founder, they were all doing great. In 2020 to 2022 is the age of where are the builders? We need hackers, we need developers. And I think that we onboarded so many developers into the ecosystem. 2025, now I think it's the process of, making sure that these protocols work together so that developers are happy. Certain applications just aren't innovating quick enough. And that's why you see 10,000 L2s now, and you see new L1s as well. And it's just the process of most of us are still using the EVM just in different ways, such as Monad or Mega ETH. They're still EVM based. it's just the process of how do we work together to make sure that we're a welcoming ecosystem, and the best way to do that is through collaboration. It does kind of suck to be a developer, like a builder. I kind of hate the term builders, because I think to myself, if you call yourself a builder, you're never going to make it. You need to call yourself a founder instead, because you're never going to get grant funding to build something that dies on GitHub compared to being a founder.
Yeah, I think that's a movement, because the protocols also saw that they do not need more proofs of concept. They want more. They want real products that keep going on, that people keep investing their time and putting efforts in those projects, right? After the grant is over, because at the same time, it's sort of easy for people to get a grant, start building something, and then moving on to build something else. I don't know if you see it that way as well.
No, it got to a point where in 2021, there's the terminology of grant hoppers. I know I might get in trouble, but on LinkedIn, I see different job applications of grant hunters, people whose job it is to just get grant after grant after grant after grant. And it's so weird, because they never build anything long lasting. They just move on to the next grant they can get.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And what do you see being like, in terms of these creations of projects from the founder's perspective? What is the life cycle of a project? How does it come to life? It starts with a grant. It starts in a hackathon. It gets.
I think most start from hackathons. I think they move from hackathon to grant partnership, and I'm going to call it grant partnership instead of grant funding, because with World Tycoon, along with the series of other projects that I've built, you typically, whenever you get a grant, you're typically in that ecosystem forever. And that's your biggest partner, that's your core partner. If you're trying to raise funding, their logo's on your pitch deck. Like, it's their VCs that you're talking to. It's their ecosystem you're going to onboard. The biggest ecosystem, or the biggest user base we got from World Tycoon, is from Cartesi. So it's really a grant partnership, in my opinion, compared to grant funding. After the grant partnership is finished, the application is on testnet. That's whenever the partnership happens. That's whenever the users come from that ecosystem and they kind of funnel in to give feedback. After that, I think that there's two different approaches most founders take. There's the founders that want to do it quick and dirty, like myself, to where you just launch the token, you connect it to the application in an amazing way. You write the economics, you open source the tech, and you survive yourself off of the token itself. That and fees generated through the liquidity pool. There's a new trend of people issuing 2.5 to 5% fees for transactions, and they just use that as a way to fund themselves long term. A lot of meme coins do that as well. That's how Shiba Inu gets their funding. Or you go the VC route, which is really difficult. I know that there's more VCs in Web3 than ever, but most of them are investing in the protocol stage compared to the application stage. The reason why they're doing this is because one protocol could have 1,000 applications versus one application will just be one application. So I kind of see the ending stage of launching the token itself as a fundraising mechanism and a user acquisition mechanism.
I see. That's actually very, very nice and thorough analysis. Thank you so much for that, man. You mentioned that it was not just World Tycoon, but there were other projects you worked on.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit to us about these projects? What other projects you worked or are still working on?
I've been launching stupid things with my friends since 2016. And the reason why I call them stupid things with my friends is that most are not long-standing. Most I don't put as much effort in as I did with World Tycoon. Certain applications like World Tycoon, I can see having a 2 to 4 year, long-term or longevity. The There's a different application that I worked on. It's called Based MC. It doesn't utilize Cartesi, but it's a Minecraft protocol. As Minecraft was one of the first games that I really loved, I looked a lot more into the application, and I realized that from 2005 to 2024, 80% of Minecraft influencers made their money through a digital token. And you can look up games such as Hyperpixel or servers, and they have GLD gold. You can go to Blockcraft, and they have DMD diamond. And they just created a digital token that was attached to the in-game items itself. Well, in 2024, Microsoft deleted this economy because they wanted to be able to take 90% of all revenue from servers. They created a digital token themselves called Minecoin. You can get it in every Walmart or Target worldwide. And it allowed them to get 90% of all the revenues from all Minecraft servers and then only give the server operators 10%. And I thought this was an interesting concept. So I joined a friend in 2024 for the Coinbase On-Chain Summit or On-Chain Summer Hackathon. And we built a tokenized Minecraft server using cryptocurrency so that we could actually get 100% of all the revenue from our server without having to connect it to Microsoft's Minecoin at all. From there, we're open sourcing our code base to allow the 900,000 Minecraft servers to create their own digital token, connect it to our marketplace, and then get around the Minecraft or the Microsoft fee generation. For reference, there's 230 million daily active Minecraft users, which generates Microsoft about 400 to 500 million in revenue annually. All of that revenue can be given back to the people that actually did the work, hosted the server, made the plugins, because certain innovations that are happening in Minecraft are actually being stolen from the servers itself.
Yeah.
So that's a different project. I'm not going to show them all, but I'm really bullish on games specifically because
This is amazing.
It's a user acquisition funnel, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Minecraft a few times in the quickfire as well. So you really have to do a thing for games where you're actually building and creating.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in crypto talks about how we're going to bring in the next billion people. And I'm like, how are you going to bring in the next billion people through a DeFi application? Like you're just not. How are you going to bring in a billion people through, like any application? I just don't think it makes sense. But then there's 3.5 billion active gamers. Yeah. And you're telling me we're not targeting gaming? What's the biggest consumer product out there? It's gaming.
Not only the biggest consumer product. There is also this huge thing in gaming where so many technological advancements come from gaming, right? Come from the idealization of gaming, like GPUs, graphics, like graphics needing to be so amazing is what allowed us to have the hardware to run now the AI models that we use for medicine. So,
and I think from a developer standpoint, I think most developers have built a mini game in their past. Just as, getting started, whenever I wanted to get started learning Python, I used Pygame because there's so many tutorials out there, and you give it 3 hours, you can actually see the application live.
Yeah, I think this is very true. Half the developers I know started coding because of games, and the other half had to create a game at some point.
At some point, yeah.
And so there is this inner understanding of what is happening inside a game when you're a developer, which allows you to want to create more and understand what is the need of technology as a whole. Games are a very big portal for innovation, I think. And yeah, I want to propose 2 last questions for you, and not just about Cartesi, not just about World Tycoon, But ecosystem as a whole, what are the types of use cases that excite you the most? Of course, gaming is being one of them. But is there something, some project you're really hyped about? And yeah, any kind of thing that people should be looking into?
Whenever I think ecosystem itself, I kind of think to myself that from 2017 to 2021, we have millions of applications being built at Hackathons itself that are just dead on GitHub. The majority of projects, either for a grant or a hackathon, have to be fully open source. And I think to myself that whenever it comes to the ecosystem side, I really wish that people would focus more on taking the existing open source tech that we have and bringing it to market. I think that there's so many beautiful applications out there, such as RISC started as a hackathon project in ETH Global New York in 2023. Me, Eduardo, Bartel, Danilo Toller, and Felipe built a Doom Arena platform, which later turned into RISC because it was fully open source. World Tycoon itself started from Danilo's hackathon project in 2023. A year later, I onboarded a university student to help me build it, Logan, and he's still helping me build it today. I think that there's countless projects that are amazing and have really good utility out there that are on GitHub. And it's the process of finding them and then still building them out.
Yeah, I think hard to agree with you. Let's search more. Let's stop trying to just invent things and see what's out there to be built, to be polished, to be created, right?
Why start from zero? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, of course. That makes a lot of sense. Now, any last message that you want to send to your spectators, to your family, to your mom?
Look up World Tycoon. We need more viewers. We need more users. We need people to test it, give us feedback. I've hinted at a token a few times. If you haven't paid attention, token. It's going to be coming eventually. I know that that's the only thing that people care about nowadays. So play it, give us feedback. In order to play it itself, I send you 40,000 SIM tokens. You only need 20,000 to play. And if you don't know how airdrops work, let me explain it. You use the application, you wait, you get the airdrop. So it's just my whole process of play World Tycoon, join the Cartesi Telegram chat. You'll find the Discord link. We're not shilling it around, so you actually have to look a little bit, but use the application, play the application, give us feedback, because we're going to keep building it long term. And who knows, we might even look into more tycoons like Roller Coaster.
Love, man. That's awesome. And I want to build my roller coaster tycoon. I want to build my park. I want to make it an NFT and use that NFT inside World Tycoon. So I can have like my roller coaster tycoon inside my World Tycoon.
Yeah, we can make our own metaverse just out of these tycoon games.
Yes, exactly. All right, Zach. This was amazing. Thank you so much for coming. This is like one of my favorite episodes so far. I can tell you for sure. Couldn't thank you more for being here.
I like it. Thank you for having me. And I know the next interview will be a lot better.
This is awesome, man. This was iBuilder 4 AM. Keep building and pioneering the world of Web3. Bye-bye.